Hi friends! Well, we are officially in springtime, which means that a certain sport now is starting up, and that sport is baseball. Do any of you out there like baseball? That's awesome. Who here plays baseball? Excellent. Now, I know we're in New York, so often people go for one of two teams. Who out there is a Yankee fan? Cool. Who out there is a Mets fan? All right. Who out there is like me and really doesn't care either way? Yay! Okay, well, you guys know I'm not a big sports person. It's okay. But my husband, Mr. Eliason, he's a Mets fan, so I guess I have to root for the Mets. Okay, that's fine. But for those of you that love baseball, that's great. It is America's pastime. And I have a very famous poem that I'm going to read to you. Well, it's in a book, but it's a poem. And I have actually two versions of this poem. So I'm going to read both of them. And then your assignment this week is going to kind of compare those two. All right. So the first one is a very, very famous poem about baseball. It is called Casey at the Bat. And this was written by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. And now this has been put into a book, and the book was illustrated by Gerald Fitzgerald. Gerald Fitzgerald. Wow, that is a cool illustrator's name, Gerald Fitzgerald. Okay, now this poem is over 100 years old. It is a very, very famous poem, and it has a bit of a surprise ending, which you'll see. So this is called Casey at the Bat. This is the original poem. Afterwards, I'm going to read a newer version of this poem. So, Casey at the Bat. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning more to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go, in deep despair the rest clung to that hope which springs eternal in the human chest. They thought if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a Lulu and the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. All right, so the beginning of the story, we knew it wasn't looking good for the Mudville Nine, okay? They were tied game. It was a tied game. They had one inning left, and all they want is for Casey to get to bat because Casey is their star player. They didn't think he was going to get there, but now Flynn got a single. Blake, he hit the ball, so now, oh, the big gun, Casey, he might be coming to the bat. Then from 5,000 throats and more, there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell, it knocked upon the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was an ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat, no stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then, while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. Ugh. Casey didn't hit the ball. He got strike one. Oh, my goodness. From trenches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone from the stand. And it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said strike two. "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the multitude was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Okay. Who thinks that he hit it, that he hit a home run? Yeah? Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light, and somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. The end. All right, so it's a little twist in the end, right? Because we believe, right, from all the hype that Casey, this great player, is going to win the game. And instead, he struck out.